Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. Another Burmis breakdown walk. And I hope everybody's having a good day. Just got cloudy for a second, but I'm sure the sun's going to be shining. I think instead of going through the park, we're going to go through the neighborhood a little bit. But here's the deal. You know, I just got done doing a video on Jon Stewart and him speaking on behalf of the first responders in front of essentially an empty Congress, by the way. And by the way, I'll probably take some questions if I can. Let's go with live chat here. So those are visible. Awesome. But 8 years later, you know, these people are still trying to get, not quite 18, almost 18. It'll be 18 before we know it. Believe me. June, it's 3 months away? And 2015, they get railroaded. Why am I even seeing this in the news? People have died. Zadroga himself, obviously. And when I hear somebody on their 69th round of chemo, because they went to save other people's lives, it hurts, man. It really hurts. You think at the very least, what they could have done is at least confronted that lie that the air was safe to breathe, all that. But no, definitely not. It's not what we got. Instead, you got a tearful Jon Stewart being like, seriously, guys, what the hell's going on here? It's shameful. And it shows how our political system works. It's a disturbing one. It's not about right or left. It never has been. Doesn't mean I agree with Stewart politically, by the way. I see a lot of people out there being like, oh, Jon Stewart, the trolls. We don't feed the trolls. Asking me if I'm going to make a Minds account. Probably. It's tough, man. I honestly, if you look at my social media right now, I'm only posting over to Twitter, and I'm double streaming my main news stories over on Periscope because of Twitter. That's about it. Thumbs this video up. Go check out all my other stuff today. I mean, again, I'll admit, most of this stuff I covered, pretty dark. The Seville stuff, it's not really fun to cover those abuse stories. There are those moments of hope, when they start talking about reopening the Epstein cases and listening to the victims. But then, today, when I come across a video of the editor and the writer for the Miami Herald talking about their genesis on how they began to cover the story, okay? She's saying, I talked to 60 victims out of 80 I contacted, plus. I mean, that's incredible. And out of those people that were identified, can you imagine all the victims that have just kept their mouths shut altogether? I mean, honestly, the ones that did file any kind of criminal charges, they were truly a select few. And that's sad. That doesn't make me happy. And with Acosta being on the inside, with Barr being on the inside, with Dershowitz being a cheerleader for the establishment, with a president who twice promised us the JFK documents and could not deliver on even that. How's he going to fight the deep state? He can't even expose the deep state from 50 plus years ago. Think about that. That's a reality. And it's a sad reality. And it's one of the reasons that the congressional floor is empty on a case like 9/11, because they know, hey, it might be a blip in the news, but it's not a political hot button issue. It's not catering to my lobbyist buddies that are going to set me up with a real sweet job, after I get out of this whole political game. Or perhaps, dog on dog action, guys. It's part of the walks. Karma, you be good. And keep going. Getting back to what I'm talking about. It's a big game up there. They don't care about you and me. And I think that is illustrated at the highest levels when an event that really did not leave the news cycle for almost a decade. I'd say around the 7th, 8th anniversary, it started to get less coverage, but every day we were pounded with that. Every single day. On every single major news channel. And as I've spoken of before, without 9/11, you don't get Homeland Security. You don't get the Patriot Act. You don't get these regime change wars and wars on terror. When Wesley Clark told us that in 5 years they were going to go into all these nations, well, there's only one on the list. It took them a little while longer. Iran is the last one. You understand that? Iran is the last one on that list. And no one seems to care in this country that we have an incremental buildup right now in that region while we're sending ground troops. 1,500 sent, 10,000 planned. That's mainstream media. The Abraham Lincoln that was supposedly sent there in response to a very, very suspect incident and very, very suspect information provided by Israel, no less, about the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Well, we'll send more ships now that we had those attacks that nobody died in and no oil was lost from. But don't worry, the Pentagon told us it was Iran, and Iran is dangerous, so we better listen to them and listen to them good. And this is for our freedom, you know? Meanwhile, the people that literally dug bodies out for months in that pile. In fact, there's a story in the news today that somebody after almost 18 years has been identified by their DNA. I mean, things were dust in there. I've gone over it. You know, what is his name? Peter Bakarski. He was a FEMA guy. He's quoted in the New York Daily News and other publications as saying that there are temperatures at the World Trade Center of 2,700 degrees. That never became an official number. I'll tell you why. That would be impossible with jet fuel and whatever was in the building, no matter what you think of it. But he talked about how it had an incinerator effect. And that's what we're dealing with. All those toxic fumes, all the lies by the EPA, dust that was, you know, micronized as it came out. How can 2 planes pulverize 3 steel buildings? And when we talk about Building 7, for instance, you know, one of the things I've discussed is in the Dark Overlord documents, they talk about the different transformers that were at the bottom of that building. And they're saying, oh, well, the fires from the fuel tanks and then the transformers. What's up, big guy? I'm doing well. Anyway. I'll see you later, brother. Anyway, we had that Con Edison station go down. And the transformer blew, and you saw a huge blue light. People thought an attack had gone off there. And rightly so. It was something they'd never seen before. We certainly didn't see it on 9/11, did we? You think the transformers wouldn't have blown that day in the same manner? Come on. Come on. Give me a break. They're talking about some kind of crazy huge explosion that took it down. Well, I didn't see one. I saw a building that was slightly damaged, certainly not anywhere near as damaged as some of the other buildings, like, I don't know, Building 6, that looks like it was scooped out from the bottom. And Ken Holden of FEMA talked about seeing molten metal dripping from. Not really to discuss too much. It's in Loose Change Final Cut. You can go check it out. Well, that building just comes down, you know, with the largest CIA base outside of Langley, Virginia at the time. Secret Service, SEC, no big deal. And here's the thing. With whatever happened, and, you know, I've done documentaries where I thoroughly explain my position of an international intelligence operation. If you don't think that there were elements in the CIA that had an idea of what was going down prior, and the ones that didn't know prior had an idea after, you'd be completely naive. Again, the Office of Emergency Management was there. Giuliani and his crew first went there and then figured out that they had to get out of there. Give me a break. And now, you know, Giuliani's a hero on TV. He's defending Trump after all. And honestly, defending him against a false accusation, so shows you how complicated the world is. And how it's really not a right and left issue, it's a right and wrong issue, and you've got to just talk about the truth on either side. Tony Rodham, let's see. So, yeah, I know there's a little, so for those that don't know, Tony Rodham died over the weekend when some of these suspicious deaths came out in the media, aka the state senator from Oklahoma and the state senator from Alabama that had I would assume bullets in their head, since one of them was said to only be shot once, right? So I've seen a lot of things about, oh, well, the judge sealed the records on him, or there was no autopsy on Tony Rodham. I don't know that. I haven't seen, people are going to have to send me some real information, not some forum nonsense. So if you got a link, I'm willing to look at it. I'm always willing to look at anything that's the real deal. How about the present? See any cops on the streets? Me neither. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful day out here in my neck of the woods, and even if I did run into the police, it'd be fun. The government are solid liars. They always have been. Guys, I'm going to take off. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this little stroll, subscribe. Talk to you soon.